Hey, what's going on YouTube? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Scattered Brilliancy. My name is Travis, and I'm here to review BET's The Quad, Season 1, Episode 3. No clue what the name of this episode is. So, the thing about this show at this point is apparent that the pace of it is changing. You know, when the show started off with the movie and then it went to the first episode, I thought it was going to be at a slower pace. But then when that second episode seemed to jump so far in time, I was kind of confused. But then this episode jumped like 3 weeks to a month, it seems like, ahead. So I'm just going to assume, again, another assumption that from here forward, that this show is. Oh, I got an itch. I'm going to assume that from this point forward, that the show is just going to jump ahead. And it's unfortunate because the show has really good potential, and it's not a bad show. It's just I'm just trying to learn the show at this point, trying to learn what is the actual pace of the show. You went back and got more. Trying to figure out what's the pace of the show. So, all right. So what's going on in this episode? The whole episode takes place during, the Capital Fund kickoff. And I guess this is just another attempt for Dr. Fletcher to raise money for the school. And throughout the entire episode, we got flashbacks for every character on the show. So while they're all at this fundraiser, each character pretty much got a flashback to give us some background information that most of them was important to what was going on, but some not really. So let's start off with, at the end of last episode, Fletcher had gotten her divorce papers and she ended up sleeping with Six Pack. So fast forwarding into the future now, I guess they've still been sleeping together. They're still seeing each other on low. She does not want him to come to this fundraiser, but he ends up showing up anyway. He shows up and says that he's the teacher assistant to some other lady who really has no importance. And she confronts him and all that kind of stuff, asking him, why are you here? He doesn't want her there. And he's just like playing his game because he pretty much knows he has her wrapped around his finger. And her daughter, Sydney, walks up and he pretty much starts flirting with her daughter. And then her daughter's real fast, so she put her number in his phone. So, we'll see how that works out. But the way the show is going, next week, it would have came and gone and nothing about it. Also, throughout the episode, in between the flashbacks and in between the shots of the party, there were these shots of this person, this black man, typing on a computer, and obviously he's up to no good. Throughout the whole episode, he was kind of organizing these clips and editing them together. And at the end of the episode, he actually sends them out, and I'll talk about what it was at the end of the video. Dr. Diamond, who is the band director, he's in bed with a prostitute. I guess this is what he does because he had the money in the drawer, and she said same time next week, and he was like, yeah. So I guess he has to get that paid for, but he can't get that regular butt. So, and we find out that he also has lung cancer. They make it a point to let us know that he hasn't smoked, but he has lung cancer, but his main concern is the band, and he mentioned something about an estranged relationship with his sister. So maybe we'll find out what that's about. Maybe next episode she'll be dead. Who knows? Bryce, Cedric's roommate, got a flashback that seemed to be completely irrelevant to the episode. He had a flashback. He was at the party, obviously. He got a flashback about debating Sydney. I don't understand the relevance of that. Maybe we'll find out next week. Who knows? Next week may be a whole new semester. Guess we'll find out. Cedric was approached by Dr. Fletcher because she wanted the person that she had to speak at her fundraising event pulled out. So she asked him if he could be the spoken word artist because when he submitted his application for the school, he did like a spoken word thing. It was real deep. It was like red, yellow, blue. Can you paint with the colors of the rainbow? I can too. Knick-knack, paddywhack. I didn't give the dog the bone. It was like, some deep stuff like that, that real woke stuff. So she asked him if he could perform that for the fundraising event, and he doesn't really want to. Somebody who we kind of forgot about in the show, because the show's been going on in their time for about 6 months, was Ebony. That was the girl who got her tail beat in the movie, and then her parents were upset about the whole band hazing thing, and, we didn't hear anything about her. I thought she died. We didn't know nothing about her, but, they mentioned her in this episode, and they said she's doing all right, and then they showed her in the clip for next week, so I guess she'll be back, even though I could have sworn she went home. So while he gets up there to do his knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone rap, he is like kind of having flashbacks to stuff, and he sees Bryce's dad at the party, and that kind of throws him off his game. So he starts off with his original spoken word, and then he goes into a completely different spoken word that pretty much is inappropriate, and it pretty much is not really good for the school. And he pretty much harps on everybody there, talks about the rich people in the room, talks about Dr. Diamond. Yeah. So that's all that happened with him. And then he walks out. Noni, that's the girl in the band. She's still the band's lackey. They still hazing her. You know, nothing has changed. So I guess she decides that this is going to be her moment where she's going to take a stand and do something about it. So she decides to plant a seed in the football player's mind that the drum major has been talking, the drum major and the band have been talking junk about the football players. Then she talks to the drum major like the football players have been talking junk about the band, and they end up fighting, and she just sits back and watches, and while she's eating her celery stick. And that's all. I mean, throughout the episode, the DM was being very hard on. He was hazing her, you asking her to get water and stuff like that. I don't know the guy who I said that didn't have an age-appropriate haircut, so we're going to call him Young Fro from here on out because I still don't know his name on the show. He had a flashback that apparently he had a new position that he could have possibly gotten at another school that he declined. And that was all the relevance was in that episode. I still don't know why we had to know that. I mean, anyway, so after the fight, Young Fro seemed real excited that the fight happened. He took a sip of his drink, and he smiled at Dr. Fletcher, like, because, you know, him along with Dr. Diamond, they call her Black Ivy. They still want her out of school. Yeah. So, end of the video, we see, end of the movie, we see, end of the episode, we see the video that was being edited throughout the show, and it was a video surveillance looking tape of what looks like either rape or sex. Can't tell the difference between the two. The only thing that confused me was the angle in which the video was being shot was almost as if the camera was in the trees. So I guess we'll find out next week, because in the preview for next week, it was Sydney in the video. I didn't say that. Sydney was in the video. She was either getting raped or she was having some rough sex in some bushes. We'll find out next week which one it was. We never find out who the guy was on the computer, but I could have sworn I saw cop stuff. So it looked like somebody that was in a cop uniform doing it. So like I said, we'll find out next week who he was. Is there anything else I'm missing? Yeah, I didn't even go upstairs. Oh, Madison, the white girl on the show, she can't get in contact with her boyfriend. That's all that's going on with her. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to give this show a fair chance. I'm going to watch the whole season. I just want them to... I just want the pace to slow it down just a little bit. Why do I seem so light? I'm not that light at all. So I just want the pace to slow down. It's moving at an uneasy pace, and I feel like the episodes it's not flowing. Now, next week, they're going to be talking about the video as if it's the next day, which, you know, therefore throws off the pace again, because they've been jumping weeks ahead at a time, but then they're going to go a day ahead. So I want all of that to stable out at some point in the season. And there's still backlash about the show, which I still don't get. Why people think this is supposed to be a documentary. This is just a TV show. Like, black people have been shown in bad lights for God knows how long. So, I mean, that's it. The episode wasn't really that interesting. I'm hoping that by the end of the season, all of these loose ties they're opening up get tied. Tying up loose ends. Yeah, all these loose ends get tied up by the end of the season, because I feel like the stuff that they talked about so much in the movie in episode 1 is not even relevant in this point. 2 episodes later, it's not even relevant. So I want that to change. I know it's not, because the show is already shot and done, but that's one thing that I think could be better. It's just the continuity of the whole show just seemed real off. So, yeah. Make sure you like, rate, comment, and subscribe to this lackluster blah review. And I'll be talking to y'all later. Peace.